right, well, I've got 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So this is the special town council meeting. We have just one agenda item, and that is to elect a replacement for Nick Meyer. We opened up to everybody, and we had 10 candidates originally. We are now down to 4 for various reasons. And we had last Friday, I believe it was, interview process with everybody, and they answered questions sort
Thursday.
of similar to, was it Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, I'm on vacation. I can't keep track. And so we sort of styled that similar to what the League of Women Voters did when we had our elections. And at this point, we're down to 4 candidates. They are Mike Johnstone, Zach Neff, Anita Remages, and Dr. Stefanos Rizos. The people voting are the 4 town council members. So with no further ado, I'll open up the floor to nominations. And of course, to be elected, the person who is elected has to have a majority, which would be 3 votes. And in the case of a tie, Bill DeFuniak makes the choice. So I'll open up the floor to nominations.
Well, Mr. President, I'd like to make a comment. First of all, I think we're pretty lucky, really, to have 4 good qualified candidates. I think any one of those 4 would make a good town council member, and I'd have no problems with any of them. However, we have to pick one, and in my view, we need a person with a strong financial background, somebody that's going to be able to look at the budgets maybe a little more closely than the 3 of us can or do, or the 4 of us really. None of us are versed that well in accounting, I don't think. So in that respect, I would like to put in nomination Mike Johnstone. He's been a CEO of 2 large Chicago banks, Illinois banks, who had assets over $4 billion. He had a 22-year run on those banks. He obviously is able to manage funds and manage money quite well to keep those banks going and during the time he was in there. And I think he'd make a great addition to our council. In addition, he had put balance to our board, and I think he would be an excellent choice, and that's why I nominate Michael Johnstone to fill the position.
All right, do I hear a second?
Wait a minute. I second it.
Okay, so it's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
I've got 2. It has to be 3. Do I hear another nomination?
I'd like to nominate Zach Neff.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That's only 2. Everybody has voted once. Chris, do we make another nomination, or does everybody get just one shot at this? In terms of how many votes
I think
you
you should
get?
clarify the intention here. So I don't know what each round that your intentions are for voting in favor, but nobody has voted against. So let's be clear on what the effective rules are. The only thing that is required is a motion and a second, the nomination and a second, right? That puts it in play. It needs a majority, as you accurately stated. And if there is a tie, then Bill is a deciding vote.
Right.
There weren't any dissenting votes cast, so I don't know what the intentions of everybody were. An abstention does not count as a vote, and that doesn't lead to a majority. So you need to be clear in what we're doing here and the intention. So right now, you didn't ask for votes against.
Yep.
So perhaps if the intention is to have two nominated people, you can take that vote. But two of you on each side didn't cast votes here. So I don't know what the intention of those votes are, whether they're negative votes or whether they're abstentions. An abstention would not pass because it does not count. Negative votes, if they line up the same way, then Bill is the deciding vote.
Okay. So I guess we can go back and the first nomination was for Mike Johnstone, and I was an abstention. John Wall, were you an abstention?
I was at that point, yeah.
Okay. And the nomination for Zach Neff, John Coker, were you an abstention?
Yes, I was.
And Mary Lou, were you an abstention?
Yes.
So we've got two nominations. Neither one got a majority. Chris, at this point, does that send it to the town clerk?
It does not, because there's not a tie. The town clerk breaks a tie, votes against, an abstention does not count as a vote. So that is the point I'm making. A 2-2 vote is a tie, in which Bill makes the deciding vote. An abstention is not a vote. So there's two votes in favor of each with no majority.
Okay, so at this point, would it be reasonable for the town council then to vote, to say who they want to vote between the two candidates who got the two votes, who've had the nominations? Would that meet that?
You could entertain a motion that you want to eliminate two candidates, if that's what you'd like, and take a vote, and then you can do it amongst you get to determine the rules here.
Okay.
But I think that you should establish your intention here with that. And if you choose to revisit that, again, what is clear, it's a simple, it is a majority, and a tie vote, then Bill is the deciding vote.
Okay, well, in the interest of not having this meeting go on forever, I'll make a motion to eliminate the two candidates who are not nominated. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we're down to two candidates, and they are Zach Neff and Mike Johnstone. So I guess at this point, each one of us, the four of us, need to vote for one or the other. And I think that'll get us to where we need to be. So
But I want to be clear, nobody is required to, but that is the only way you're going to make a decision to reach the level of a majority. And so either there has to be a majority of the existing council member, which are four of you, right? So there has to be at least three, or there has to be a tie that would then go to Bill, as the town code and the state statutes provide that he would then cast the deciding vote.
okay.
Is everybody clear?
Yes.
So we can do a roll call vote. Mary Lou?
Well, I think that you probably should have is your intention to nominate one of the two or to vote between? So I think we need to be clear on what we're doing here now.
I think we need to vote between the two of them, because otherwise we're going to end up with the same result we got the first time.
Okay. So what's the question?
So go ahead.
The question, I guess my way to get this resolved is to ask every council member who they will choose between the two remaining candidates.
Me first. I vote for Mike.
Is that going to work, Chris?
I still don't think that you get to the spot that you were, that you're in the same. So if your intention is the one that is selected needs a majority,
Right.
a majority of the votes, but we're not doing, this isn't a ballot. This isn't an at-large, whoever gets the most. It is somebody who is nominated and then you select. And if there is a tie, so for instance, if you, again, vote, let's say you vote for Zach Neff and John Wall votes for Zach Neff and Mr. Coker and Mary Lou vote for Mr. Johnstone, then we have 2-2 again.
Right. That would be a tie.
No.
No, it's 2 votes and 2 votes without a majority. So perhaps you make the motion and the decision that your votes, because again, you get to make the rules, and unfortunately, there isn't anything that dictates the code. Your town code doesn't speak to this, and your state code. So perhaps you should make the motion, if you're inclined, to say that your vote for one is going to it is going to be counted as a vote against the other. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
then you are
that's-
voting for one and against the other.
And then we have to do 2 votes with each nomination?
No, I think that if you make the motion that whoever you vote for, that you have 2 nominated candidates, and
Yep.
your vote for is going to be counted and is cast as a vote against the other.
I
That
see,
will
okay.
do it too. Does that make sense to everybody? Because then that will allow us, but if anybody abstains, then we're back potentially to where we were. But we'll
Okay.
sort that out as we go. Does that make sense?
Okay, so
Again, you
I'm
have
thinking,
to get to a majority. You have to get to a majority either amongst the 4 or because there's a tie. But if you make a motion that a vote for is against the other, now we have an affirmative decision on each.
okay. So I think to proceed, I need a motion to nominate somebody of the 2.
No, let's
Correct.
back up. No, but because it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you want to cast votes considering both of them. Am I
Yes.
right collectively? All right. So
Right.
I think that the proper motion would be that you entertain a motion from the council that you guys are going to take a vote amongst the remaining candidates, and an affirmative vote for one will be also counted as a vote against the other.
So moved.
I
Is there a-
second.
All right. So Mary Lou?
Yes. I vote for Mike Johnstone.
Okay. John Coker?
I vote for Mike Johnstone also.
John Wall?
Vote for Zach Neff.
And I vote for Zach Neff. That throws it to Bill, correct?
Now you have a tie between them. That's right. So Bill will be the
Bill,
decider.
what's your pleasure?
Well, all 4 candidates were fantastic, and I appreciate what Zach Neff has done for the community and work on the park board. But as the chief financial officer, obviously, my comfort level is with somebody with a real strong financial background. So my vote is for Mike Johnstone.
All right, so I want to congratulate Mike Johnstone. Mike, are you here? Mike, are you on this call?
Maybe.
Thought I saw him, but I might have stepped out. I don't know.
No one's been home at his house, not that that matters. It's a Zoom call for quite some time.
Okay. Well, I will call him and notify him and congratulate him. And I also am going to forward him. Joan's iPad just signed on. Joan, that's not Joan's iPad. That's not Mike Johnstone, is it? Doesn't sound like it. I will call him and congratulate him, and I will also send him an invitation to tomorrow's executive meeting of the town council.
Dr. LeMay, I think
Yeah.
before he participates, we need to make sure that he
What's that?
goes through the hoops of taking his
Hold on.
oath and doing what is necessary to allow him, to empower him to be a member of the council.
Okay, but we still, even though he hasn't taken the oath, We still could have met
whatever you want. That's right, but
he could still be in executive session.
That's right. You're not taking any decisions there.
Yep.
No,
Okay.
Bob,
Yes.
I can't say Bob because then the other Bob here answers. Mike Johnstone said he was on mute, so he had cut out, but I've got him on the
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
Anthony, I think the host had it on mute. I was off my mute, but I still couldn't communicate with you. I apologize.
Did you hear that, Bob?
I did hear that. Yeah. So it sounds like we had technical difficulties.
Okay.
Mike, can you hear us?
I can, yes.
All right. So I'd like to congratulate you, welcome you to the town council. And I'm going to send you on the email that I had an invitation to tomorrow's executive meeting of the town council. That'll be at 7:00, and I'll send you that right after this meeting. Okay.
That's excellent. Thank you. I'm very excited, and I appreciate the support, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you for the betterment of our great community.
Great. Anybody have anything else they want to say?
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yeah, congratulations.
All right. Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Night, everybody.
Good night.